In today's video, I want to talk about how you can best answer the interview question, tell me about a time where you disagreed with someone. So without further ado, let's get started. Now, the first thing you need to understand is why are they asking this question? They want to ask this question because they want to get an understanding of how you approach solving problems, how you maintain composure in the workplace, how you communicate effectively, and how you work towards moving forwards past this issue. So you really want to find an example that can highlight all of these elements. And you also want to show your ability to communicate effectively and also reach some kind of compromise or persuade the other person that you're the right way and so on. So essentially, this is very similar to a previous video that I did on persuasion or conflict management. But this time for disagreements, you really want to show more of highlighting both perspectives, right? So that it's clearer for the interviewer to see. Now, the second thing you need to do is to find the right example. You want to find an example which is not trivial, which is from the workplace ideally, and how you guys were essentially conflicting on this issue. And in order to really highlight the issue at hand, you want to show what was the problem, what was at stake, and what were the different perspectives, right? And so sometimes it's like a disagreement of one person, it could be a disagreement of multiple people. So relevance is definitely important. The second thing is you want to show your professionalism. How did you carry yourself? How did you maintain your composure? How did you maintain your calmness in the heat and deal with the issue in a matter-of-fact way, while also showing the right amount of empathy so that you are contributing to solving the problem rather than contributing to making it worse. For the example you choose, you also want to be able to show a positive outcome. You don't want to show an example where things hit the fan and everything is bad and that's it. You want to find an example where there's a positive outcome so that everyone is able to move forward from there on. The third piece of answering this question is to structure it using the STAR method. I've talked about STAR in the past: situation, task, action, result. I'll put a previous video up in the cards above, but essentially you want to use this narrative structure to convey your idea so that it's succinct, to the point, and people resonate best in a narrative structure. So by having some kind of framework to help you tell your story, you're going to be able to deliver it much more effectively. There's 4 things in this delivery that you really want to highlight. The first thing that you want to highlight is your communication skills, right? Like I said earlier, communication is going to be key. So how did you communicate this disagreement? How did it escalate? Did it blow up in a meeting, or was it through passive-aggressive emails? You really want to show how this situation unfolded during the communication process and how, ideally, in most cases of communication, you are going to be at fault as well to some extent. There's going to be reasons why miscommunication happens. So you have to be willing to own up some responsibility, but not to the extent where you are the person that's to blame for it, right? So find the right example for communication where you highlight how things unfolded, how things got worse, and how things slowly got better because of how you communicated. The second skill you really want to highlight is the empathy and how you were able to understand the other perspective and also let them feel heard. And so it's important to really highlight your empathy skills so that it shows you're a team player, and you really want to show in a disagreement situation it's not either my way or the highway, but you are working towards a resolution and shared common ground. Which brings me to my third skill that you really want to highlight, which is the problem solving skills. Not only is it about the emotional side, but you also got to deal with the rational side, the logistics, the operation side, and how things were able to move forward from there. What was the root cause of the issue and how you solved it. The fourth and final thing is to show the adaptability, how you were able to adjust and perhaps reach some kind of compromise, right? And it's not a full-on disagreement where it was either you or them, but it's like, what was the middle ground and how did everyone move forward from there on out? Which brings me to my fifth point, which is how do you avoid some common pitfalls while answering this question? One common pitfall is negativity, speaking too negative about the disagreement so that it leaves bad vibes. You want to steer clear of negativity because that would always linger even after the interview is over. The interviewer may not remember what you said, but they will definitely remember how you made them feel. The second thing you want to avoid is overemphasizing the conflict. You don't want to overemphasize the conflict. You want to emphasize at a high level what the conflict was, but the precision of your answer is on how you worked through the disagreement. So don't just focus on the disagreement, it's how you resolved it. The third mistake that people make is kind of dodging the question. And one common way of dodging the question is giving a trivial example. One example which is just a big nothing burger, and that doesn't help because they want a concrete example of a disagreement. And disagreements happen all the time between people, right? It's not just the workplace, it's people disagree, and that's perfectly okay. But how did you communicate your disagreement in a professional and calm manner so that you are contributing to resolving the problem rather than contributing to the problem itself? And the final thing is to practice, 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 because no matter how good a story you have, if you don't practice it, it's not going to be convincing, it's not going to be persuasive for the interviewer. And that's it. That's how you answer the question. Tell me about a time you had a disagreement at work. If you like this video, please give a like, share, subscribe, follow wherever you are. And if you have any thoughts about what I said, please let me know in the comments below. Take care, everyone.